The US dollar is nearing an end to this consolidation, and I'll show you why in today's video. I'll have my exact game plan for the DXY, the Euro, and also the pound. So my name is Justin Bennett, full-time trader and founder of Daily Price Action. As always, all of this is my opinion only and not financial advice. So looking first at the DXY here, the 4-hour time frame. Now, the market has been sideways for the past couple of weeks. I wanted to make this video though for two reasons. One, to let you guys know that I haven't gone anywhere. I'm still around. Markets have been quiet, so I've been pretty quiet as well. And number two, I want to hear from you guys what you need help with. What should I make videos on? What markets should I talk about? What strategy should I talk about? Certain concepts, whether it's SMC or something else completely. It could be trend lines, pattern trading, whatever it might be, guys. Leave your comment below and let me know what you want me to make videos on. So the DXY, basically the second half of May, the DXY has been sideways. So here on the 4-hour time frame, you can see a very tight range from this market. Now, why do I say that this is likely coming to an end? One reason for that is that typically, if you look throughout history with the DXY, even just recent history, a market can go sideways like this for longer than you might think. However, you can also see where, times like this back here, the market did go sideways, but really this lasted for no more than 2 weeks, back here, same thing through this period, right? So you tend to get the DXY going sideways sometimes for a week, maybe two, but it's very rare that you get the market going sideways for 3 weeks or even 4 weeks. Again, you look back here, right? We have consolidation like this back here. It lasted for quite a long time. You see over here about the 18th all the way into March. This was back in February. So you get maybe a couple weeks of going sideways, and then you get the market breaking out. Same thing back here. So we do see the DXY move sideways a lot. This probably seems like it's been longer than it has, simply because of all of the headlines that we've seen out there, right? We all know what's going on in Iran with Trump. I mean, 1 minute we have a deal reached, a few hours later, another report comes out saying that there is no deal. And it's just been a complete back and forth now for weeks, really for months. So it probably feels like it's been sideways longer than it has, but really this has been the second half of May. I do think though, like I said, I do think we are nearing the end of this. It's very, very rare that you can arrange this tight from a market that lasts for more than 2 or 3 weeks. Okay, so in terms of where we go, if we look at the daily time frame, I still think, guys, as I've said in recent videos, that when you look at the daily chart, and I think this is key, is looking back here, we have these lows back here in 2025. So obviously we had the downtrend, we had the DXY moving sideways, we had the close below those lows, that made this up here the external high. We had a change of character above that on this close above and also this close above as well. Now, the euro is even more obvious in terms of this change of character, So this right here, in my opinion, is bullish for the US dollar longer term. But the key question though, and we really don't have an answer yet, we haven't had an answer for the past couple of weeks, is do we first get the DXY, moving down here, following this internal, this was more of an internal shift back here, but you can see where the DXY did break out from this consolidation. So we had the change of character, that was the close up here. We then had the market pulling back. We then had a breakout. And the key consideration right now for the DXY is that we still have this area back here. So we have this area back here of an imbalance where we could see the DXY drop down here toward low 98s. So back here in this region, possibly these highs, maybe down toward 98.15. This general area down here, there's still that potential for the move down here first before we get the higher low forming. And that's the part that we don't know, right? We don't know if we're going to get this here. I am still longer term bullish on the US dollar though, given the way the daily time frame looks here, So the question is, do we get this down here first before the higher low forms, or do we simply break out straight from here, And that's obviously, again, the part that we don't know. But I think if you're looking for a buy, you want to try to buy low, you want to try to buy down here instead of trying to chase this higher. So that's kind of my view on the DXY, guys. Same thing it was before. But again, I wanted to make this video just to let you guys know that I am still around. Markets have been pretty quiet though, not a ton going on here for the DXY over the past couple weeks. Now let's move on to the euro. All right, and if you guys do want to see exactly how I trade SMC full time, then check out the link right here on the screen. That's going to give you a free SMC training. That's going to show you exactly how I trade SMC full time, holding back no details, almost 2 hours of content that you will not find on YouTube. So check that out. It is completely free. All right, so for the Euro USD, looking at the daily chart here, we have the market moving higher back here in 2025. Okay, so clearly higher highs and higher lows back here. Now, once we went sideways though, what you can see here is that we had a BOS above this high. Okay, so close above up here. We had the close below the external low down here. That gave us a bearish change of character. Okay, pretty easy to see. And we've been talking about this now for the past few months, because what this down here told us is it told us that this close right here, it told us that any move up here was likely going to result in a lower high. And that's so far exactly what's played out, because you had this imbalance back here. We had the change of character down here telling us that momentum had shifted. Okay, the structure had shifted. And so far, that's exactly what we've had. Now, the challenge with the euro, though, is with everything going on in Iran and really the Middle East in general, you can see where since this high back here, okay, if we look at this high back here was April 17th. Okay, it is now May 27th. And we are basically, the high was right here. We are now currently right here. Not a lot of movement here over the past couple of months. Okay, now clearly the euro has found support down here at these highs, right? As we thought it might. We also had this imbalance back here that it has now mitigated. So the question now is, where do we go from here? If we look at a 4-hour time frame, you can see where, just like the DXY, we do have a lot of sideways action. Okay, so even though we have what you could call a change of character down here, the problem right now that I've had with trading the euro is that from this high up here down here to the low, if we map out discount and premium and also OTE, you can see where the 50% is up here. And so this entire time we have just traded down here in discount. And if I'm looking to short, I can't short in discount. I have to short in premium. So that means I have to see the euro up here, which we obviously have not gotten. So for me, guys, when I look at this here, I see this imbalance back here. We're still down here in discount. I can't short the euro right now. I need to see the market up here in this area to start looking for shorts. I don't know if we're going to get it. I'll be honest with you though, within the context of this descending channel. So if we look at this on the 8-hour time frame and you notice these lows down here, okay, there's no question that this is a valid descending channel. Now, if you look at where the 50% line is here, okay, we're kind of coming up here over the next, few weeks as we move into June. The idea of getting a move up here within the context of this descending channel is starting to, the odds are starting to lessen, right? We'll say that. The odds are not as good right now as they were before, simply because this upper line is descending, okay? I'm not saying it can't happen, but the point here is that if we were to go to over here, and then you see the market give you this, right? The question is, do you want to look for shorts up here, even though we're in premium now, if the market is above this trend line, okay? So that's the point I'm getting at. So in my opinion, we either get the euro moving up here into this area above 1.1685 or so, above this area before, let's say, June 4th or so, or it's going to be very difficult for me to look for shorts in premium. It's really that simple. Okay. So we'll have to wait and see what happens here. I can't short though. Like I said, I can't short down here in discount. I need to see the move up here into premium to start looking for shorts. Okay. So let's move on here to GBPUSD, which obviously, like I said in recent videos too, the pound has been a lot choppier than the euro. There's no question about that. And that's been going on now for years, really, not just weeks or months. But if we look at this on the 4-hour time frame, like I said in my last video, the challenge for the pound right now is that you can see the back here, we had lower highs and lower lows. We moved into this change of character, right? We had the close above here. That gave us a bullish change of character. And then from here, we had higher highs and higher lows. Now, recently, because this was a BOS, we had this as the protected low down here. We closed below this, giving us a bearish change of character. So the confusion right now for the pound, right, and this really just kind of illustrates how sideways this market has been, is that you have, on the one hand, you have a bullish change of character, you have a bearish change of character. However, this is where, at least for me, the DXY is kind of, the guiding light here in terms of whether I'm bullish or bearish on the pound. Because looking at the daily time frame on the DXY, knowing that we have this up here, okay, this helps me to make decisions on the pound as well. Because like I've said in recent videos, I can't be bullish on the pound and also be bullish on the US dollar. That doesn't make sense. So for me right now, what I'm looking at is we have this change of character. Okay, you can see from the highs up here, down here to the low, we technically had the market into premium, although just barely. Like I said in my last video, I would have loved to see the market up here in this region to mitigate this imbalance, give us that move into OTE, and then from here, give us that reversal, right? Which clearly so far we haven't had. Now, here's another little clue, is that you can see if we look at the 1 hour time frame, okay? So far, what we've had here on this move up is you can see that we had higher highs and higher lows. Okay, so if we map this out in terms of SMC, right, and we map this out from this high back here, you can see we never closed above it on the hourly until over here. So what that means is that this low right down here, okay, so at 1.3375, this right here was the external low, and what you can see is we just barely closed below it, okay? So technically, what we now have, and this is internal, okay, so this is internal to this structure back here. Okay, I want to be clear about that. But right now, what we have, in my opinion, is possibly a bearish reversal setting up for the pound, which obviously, if this is going to hold true for the pound, it could also hold true for the euro as well. And obviously, you know, the US dollar would move higher from there, the DXY. But right now, we do have a very marginal close below here, giving us that change of character. So this could indicate, guys, that the top is in here for the pound, and that in the context of this change of character that we had back here, okay, so in terms of this change of character, that this high right here could be it, okay, and this market may be getting ready to move lower. Now, I'm not saying that it has to happen from current levels, because when you look at this here, all right, so let's get rid of this. If you look at this here on the 1 hour time frame, and we take a look from this external high up here, which we now know is potentially external down here toward this low. Okay, if you look at this here, you can see where we did just tap into premium, okay? Now, one thing to be aware of as well is we do have a bit of an imbalance back here in OTE. So the point here is that I'm not saying the pound has to move lower from current levels, because we could really get the market moving a bit higher here, up here in this region first before we rotate lower. Okay, however, at the same time, if that were gonna happen, then you would start taking out highs like this, and then it becomes a little bit less obvious in terms of a bearish reversal from here, okay? So something to keep an eye on, right? This could be an indication that the pound has topped out here, following that bearish change of character that we had form back here on May 14th. So a little bit more clarity here from the pound than something like the euro, because if you look at the euro, right, we've been basically just completely sideways here, right? Really no higher highs or higher lows, or lower highs or lower lows occurring. However, the pound is a little bit more telling in terms of what's happened over the past couple of weeks. So this could be giving us some insight into what's going to happen with the euro and the dollar as well. But we'll have to wait and see, okay? All in all, guys, I mean, when you look at across the board here, not really a lot of indications one way or the other. Now, one thing that I want to close out on, and just be careful with this, guys, is that today so far, it does look like we are getting a bearish candle, okay, a bearish engulfing candle. However, the key with a candle like this, and this is always the case, and this is where a lot of traders go wrong, is that it's not just the candle that forms here, but it's also what happens tomorrow. If tomorrow were to close below, right, today's low here, and give us that confirmation, then that could be the move down here toward this area, okay? But if tomorrow on Friday does move, you know, down here and then move back up here within the range, then nothing is confirmed, and really this bearish engulfing candle isn't bearish at all, okay? And you can see that back here too. I mean, if you look back here in this area, right, we had, in this case right here, what you'll notice is that we had a similar bearish engulfing candle. Now notice the next candle here closed below, we got a lower high and the market sold off, okay? So great example right there. Now, if you look over here, okay, at this example, you can see, even though this doesn't occur quite at the top, you can see we had a bearish engulfing candle, right? Pretty bearish candle, came back here into these closing prices. We got the market not closing below this low here, and then we got a new high, okay? It eventually sold off, but my point here is that this right here was not immediately bearish. So the point is that on a candle like this, the one thing you've got to be careful of, don't just get blindly bearish here, because what needs to happen is the market has to close below today's low to really confirm that this is in fact a bearish signal. Because otherwise, if Friday, like I said, if Friday closes up here or higher, then this is off the table and isn't really bearish at all. I hope this video has helped. If it has, be sure to subscribe to the channel. Also check out the video right here on the screen. That's going to show you how to identify discount and premium when you are trading SMC. Until next time, trade well. I will talk to you again tomorrow.